Go ahead and check. It says we are, but are we?
Refreshing it a few times.
There we are. So we are, in fact, live. Awesome. All right. Hello, everyone. Ace here. Welcome to the live stream. I'm joined today with returning guest Nico 40K.
Always a pleasure to be here, Ace.
A pleasure indeed. Unfortunately, we are, of course, going to be reading some more High Republic.
Oh, joy.
More specifically, High Republic Adventures.
Oh, yes. Wonderful.
Let's see, is there anything to make fun of for the front cover? Well, I can tell you the eye on the right-hand side of court here looks a little off.
Yeah. And, I guess the little one kind of looks like a Pokemon cosplay.
No, I'll tell you what he looks like. He looks like Dr. Evil's Mini-Me.
Oh, my God. Now that you mention it, yes. Oh, yeah. Other than that, it's kind of a boring cover.
Yeah, it's not as... well, that's the nicest thing that can be said about High Republic these days, I'd argue, but...
Mm-hmm. And oh boy, Daniel Jose Older.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why is it getting... Okay, something seemed... Okay, there we go. So I guess the image is just massive in quality here for no explicable reason.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see how many people have been involved in this. Or I've had to read the plot of this before we got to see it. So we got Daniel Jose Older. We got two letterers, so that's 3 people so far.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 1 editor, 2, 3 editors. So we're up to 6 people now. A senior editor, so that's 7. An associate editor, so that's 8. And Lucasfilm Story Group, so 9, 10, and 11. So 11 people had to read the plot of this comic before the general public had access to it.
Oh boy.
Let me read some of the comments here before we get proper started. Nico says, can't wait. Oro says to suffer more brain damage. Siege says, hello, coffee is on the go to make this caffeinated brain damage. Let's go. Oro says, legal drugs as caffeine is not banned in any country that deserves the designation. Oro says, preparing thermal detonators. Thermal detonators, no witnesses. Siege says, true stealth. Oro says, all systems online. Let's get this urban mech and take the trash out. In fact, I'm pretty sure that an Ermabek would be more effective than all the Jedi in this universe.
Debatable.
I mean, if you count the Jedi deliberately sending what was essentially a discount Tyranid hive fleet to attack planets, that's kind of hard to top. Seed says, are you muted or is it just me? Am I muted?
Muted. I'm hearing you just fine. Well, I don't see muted on the stream. Neither am I. Yeah, neither am I muted. So I'm guessing it's okay.
Seed says, there it is. It was okay. That's good to hear. Ura says, Nico, don't dish this the Irby. I will AC-20 you.
I'm still a complete noob to BattleTech, but one day.
The Irby is a very, very, very potent light mech. That moves about half the speed of smell. But
it's an absolute
But it's also packing a lot of firepower in a very small little package. It's the absolute pocket prince of mechs.
I just sort of imagine it's like Danny DeVito.
Pretty much. It's the Danny DeVito of mechs. It's extremely short. It has a big fuck-off cannon that will ruin the day of assault mechs if it gets a surprise attack in. It's the slowest mech in all of BattleTech. And, let's see, is there anything else? It has jump jets, and it has the ability to fully rotate its torso, which is a rare trait with the mechs. It's designed for urban combat and whatnot, and in that regard, it is actually pretty useful. Once you take
it outside, not as useful, I guess.
It is really funny playing MechWarrior 5, going into a forested area, getting on top of a hilltop, and seeing two Urbamechs trying to charge you by walking slowly towards you. Or it says, also Irby with nuclear launch, or nuke launcher is canon. Yes, it is. You can, in fact, get an Urbamech that is cheaper than the warhead that it is firing.
No way! Oh. Okay. Let's see.
Uro says, ironically, if you have the pieces to modify it in the games that allow you, you can make the Irby fucking incredible, but defeats the purpose of it being dirt cheap. Yes.
Pimp my Irby.
Alright, so let's go ahead and carry on. So, more examples of them trying to tie the High Republic to the Acolyte. And there's also apparently now something called Young Jedi Adventures, which is also apparently High Republic era. But yeah, you can see on the little chart here that the High Republic era, you have the Acolyte and Young Jedi Adventures, so they're trying to tie both of those directly to the High Republic and vice versa.
Why would you want to mention the Acolyte in anything?
Because it's part of their marketing strategy.
By the way, I don't know if you saw the last episode, but they had an insert shot of friggin' Plagueis in the background, and she's like, I'm gonna create life. Oh, why?
Disney, no. Just no. Okay, speaking of Acolyte, Star Wars, The High Republic. Daughters of No World. The Nihil storm wall sits right at the edge of Eridu. Now Lula, Zine, and their Jedi allies race to evacuate the younglings and non-essential personnel from the Bree-Frang outpost and nearby systems in advance of being swallowed up by the occlusion zone. Only the enemy knows how long they have. Bree-Frang City, Eridu. And that should do it. They'll sprout in a few weeks, I'd say. Now, Zinty Poo, be a dear and fetch me that watering can while I finish preparing the next batch. So let me get this straight. We went from they need to evacuate immediately, as quickly as possible, and cut immediately to them planting crops.
Oh yeah, evacuation. That could just take on forever.
I mean, technically, yes. Technically, only the Nihil know exactly how much time they have left.
Yeah.
Which is why it's the perfect opportunity to plant crops. Like, apparently, trees! They're planting fucking trees in the middle of an evacuation!
No way! Oh!
Does Daniel Hazelder not know how long it takes for a fucking tree to grow?
I suspect he would be like, well, with the Force, you can grow it just endlessly. Or some shit. I don't know.
He's the same dumbass that thinks you could just plant random crops in the fucking sidewalk and it will grow. That's something that's something that was established in his lore in the Trail of Shadows comics.
Oh, no. Because of course. Then again, I would argue Daniel Jose Older has never written anything good within Star Wars. From everything I've seen of his work. So
I'm not convinced he's written anything good, period.
Sorry, go ahead.
I will say this, though, at least the artwork in this issue so far seems to be better than previous High Republic adventures. Not saying a whole lot, but it's not terrible.
I'm keeping my mouth shut.
I know I'm going to now fucking regret that just from the way you've been saying that.
Yes, alright. Sorry to trouble you, Severin. It's just the transport is leaving at any moment.
It's no trouble at all, Court. They should be right in. Whoa! I'm so sorry, Court, my dear. Next time, just call for me to help you, Granny. I thought she would use the step stool. I never would have put my favorite youngling in danger. So wait, this character committed a taboo by removing the mask, and is now getting chewed the fuck out by another character who, admittedly, once he reached adulthood, did remove the mask. Or close enough, I suppose, in his culture or whatever, but... But how does removing the mask put him in danger?
I don't know. If anything, you would think it would avoid kind of dangers.
Also, he's a youngling, isn't he? You would think he would have some minor training with the Force at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Why he needed to actually reach up and grab it physically, well...
Yeah, I mean, the Force is only there as a convenience, so...
You could argue, admittedly, that a lot of Jedi don't like using it for convenience like that. Hence why Anakin said at one point in episode 2 that Obi-Wan would be furious with him.
Mm-hmm. But, like, in this kind of situation where there's an evacuation, you'd think, like, no one would care that much. It's more about getting out.
That's true, but you would also think you wouldn't be busy fucking planting trees.
True! Oh.
Frog Jupiter says, Ace 1918, have you played the Mr. President game on Steam yet? It's a game where you play as a Secret Service agent protecting the President of the United States, Ronald Rump from Sniper Fire. It came out in 2016. Yes. I remember that game.
Yeah, I actually own that game on Steam, and I was just reading the latest reviews, and they were all just, like, predicted. 10 out of 10. All that stuff. And obviously, it's a parody game made to make fun of Donald Trump and all that, but the fact that people are just playing it now to save him, it's like, I don't know.
Holy shit, I just thought of another thing I could point to with regards to, so something I've been thinking of doing a video on is what I believe to be the ultimate conspiracy theory simulator franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, and amusingly, it is not Deus Ex. It's actually the old Strike games. And now that I'm thinking about it, holy shit, is there another reason for me to talk about that?
I don't think I've heard. I don't think I've played those games.
Okay,
or even
so
heard.
here's the thing about the Strike games. They were actually the progenitors of what we would consider today to be the sandbox genre. They were a heavy inspiration for the old Grand Theft Auto games, especially 1 and 2, although later games as well. Because what they did was they set the groundwork for a proper shoot-'em-up game that was open world. In this case, you played as a helicopter pilot. You had to manage collecting fuel, ammo, and whatnot throughout the mission, which you had a limited supply of, so you had to manage your resources. They were a tough game. They were a tough franchise to go through, but they were also a very popular one. They were also one of the first games to really try to be inspired by a very recent modern conflict, because the first game in the series was Desert Strike and came out in 1992. Though technically that game, so it's very obviously inspired by Desert Storm, though technically they never actually named the country and the leader that you're up against. It's just the Mad General that you're fighting. Though I should also mention that it was also a controversial game when it came out, to the tune that there were video game publications at the time trying to call it xenophobic and in bad taste. In 1992, I have actual articles I can point to of them saying these kinds of things, using xenophobic word for fucking word.
Ooh. Oh, I cannot wait to see your video on it, man.
There's also reports of people trying to burn copies of the game when it came out as well. It's an actual... Yeah, it is an actual legitimate case of them trying to cancel a game that they don't politically agree with. The politics being that it was inspired by a recent war. But but here's where it gets into the conspiracy theory simulator territory. It's the last 3 games in the franchise in particular. So you had the original Desert Strike, then you had Jungle Strike. Actually, now that I think about it, I might have to talk about Jungle Strike a little bit too, because that deals with shit going on. The first mission of that is shit going on in Washington, D.C. Chaos ensuing there. But where it really kicks into gear is Urban Strike, which is the 3rd game, which is set in the futuristic year of 2001. This game came out in 1994, Urban Strike did.
Yeah.
And one of the missions, set in 2001, happens to revolve around New York City.
Does it have the two buildings,
Yes.
One that tends to tower? Ah.
Yes. The number of coincidences that are in this game. First off, depicting that the Twin Towers would get attacked in 2001. Second off, and also I'm going to talk about, there's also a comic book series or whatever that was made for Urban Strike, and they mentioned that the terrorists in question were described as, quote, kamikaze ninjas. So people that are in disguise doing kamikaze attacks.
Yeah, no conspiracy here at all. Nothing to see here.
There's also, and if you're of the opinion that 7-Eleven was a part-time job, well, there's 2 bits there that are going to be very eye-opening as well. For a start, the main villain, the guy that's responsible for it, ran for president the previous year in the game's lore. So, ties to the U.S. government. Secondly, there's a bit where you have to save the South Tower by disarming some explosives that the bad guys placed there to blow it up. So not only does the game predict the terrorist attack, it even fucking predicts the conspiracy theories surrounding it.
What inside job? There's no such thing. Like, oh, the most based game so far.
And then we get to the next game in the series, Soviet Strike. And oh lord, is this where it really starts kicking into conspiracy theory simulator territory. So I should mention that Soviet Strike is a bit of a soft reboot. And also, the Nuclear Strike comes into this as well a little bit, but nowhere near as much as Soviet Strike. It's mainly Soviet Strike. But here's some of the things that are established. One, the Strike Corps that you've been playing as the entire time is basically the deep state. As in, they tell the president what to fucking do. And then and there's actually audio recordings at the very beginning of the game where they're sitting there with Bill Clinton at the time and tell him that they run the show, and he's trying to say, I thought I was in charge. And then they tell him, well, if you think you're in charge, don't worry, we can easily replace you. Now consider, for a moment, that the strike unit in the game is known for wet work, as in assassinations.
Oh, no! Gee. Oh, gee.
They're also known, there's also one of the agents that they have in there is Agent Andrea, whose whole cover story is a journalist. And her whole point is to help control the narrative from a media perspective. In fact, to quote her from Nuclear Strike for her introduction, perception of reality is as important as reality itself.
Holy shit.
So they control the media, they control the politicians.
My God!
And the other agent there, by the way, is named Hack, and who's actually a elite hacker that gets arrested, who they find because he got arrested. And then and here's another thing that's established, they fucking abuse his rights by converting the prison that he's in into their headquarters. And he was supposed to go to his court dates, and they basically fucked him over, so he has to stay in there. They even could have given him a pardon because of all the work he's doing for them. And the commander, you hear him say, nah, just leave him in there. Less distractions. So, abusing the rights of their own American citizens, controls the media, and controls the fucking politicians. And then there's some of the missions. One of the missions happens to take place around the fictional country of Iraq, spelled I-R-E-K, where you have to stop the Iraqi leader from obtaining weapons of mass destruction. Some of the other missions happen to deal with the Russians in the Black Sea, in Crimea, and in Chernobyl, all of which are locations that the game tells us are located in Russia.
Oh no!
One of the main villains in the main villain in the Chernobyl part of the missions is Dr. Grimienko Ukrainian.
No way!
Oh, and one of the other bad guys is some sort of mercenary, I think working for the Russians, who dies in a vehicle crash. Sorry, is actually just killed outright, but then the cover story is that he died in a vehicle crash. Sorry, I got that mixed up for a moment there.
Oh, totally. Totally dead. Vehicle crash.
And the main villain of the entire story arc in Soviet Strike is a guy that is ex-KGB. Want to guess the funny thing about a current ruler in a current Eastern European country?
Was it Putin?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Oh!
Yes, the man that the most popular president in U.S. history has declared the president of Ukraine himself, Vladimir Putin.
How much do you think this was just the writers trying to make the most bullshit answer possible, and they accidentally hit the nail on the head?
I fucking hope that it's just a fucking coincidence, because if that's the case, then yeah, nuclear strike is probably not going to be very fun.
No. Okay.
But yeah,
Well,
that's why I've been thinking of covering that, and now we have the whole, current events adding to that.
No, yeah.
Love
That'll be fun to see. All right. Shall we continue on?
Yes, we shall.
Yeah.
One hand, you could probably tell I was not very interested in this comic because it's High Republic. On the other hand...
It does give you an excuse to talk about. Oh, let's talk about the strike games, man.
People have to play them. Seriously. They even also, for the record, led, believe it or not, to, of all things, Future Cop LAPD. Because Future Cop was originally supposed to be a strike game. Future Strike.
Oh, man. I remember the comics. It's like, you can't trust Hollywood.
We've seen what Hollywood can do.
Yeah.
And then the stream immediately craps itself.
Yes. Oh. God, this whole stream is just gonna be me laughing.
Okay, let's continue the pain.
Yeah.
Run along now, dearie. I'll be here when you get back. Don't you worry. Lady Krivlin has faced worse threats than the sealing the heel. I can promise you that. Tell your friends congrats from me.
Huh?
Never mind. You'll see.
I know you don't want to go, kiddo, but it's not safe here. All the other younglings and children from the outpost will be there with you. Lady Krevlin has Severin and the others to look after her. But listen, our Von Dune helmets are very important to keep us balanced and at one with the world. If we take it off before it's time, we can be very dangerous, even to people we care about. Do you understand? Good.
I don't know how they're going to be dangerous, but we'll see.
I mean, I haven't the faintest clue. I mean, isn't it just a helmet or... Anyway. Good. Now, let's load up and get out of here. Other younglings from nearby systems are waiting for us on a Republic transport ship in orbit, and we need to get you all to safety.
Coronet City, Corellia.
We just got word that Brandrak has been captured.
Good riddance.
Agreed. But he has our last Nahil assassin loyal to Crix with any hope of getting a shot off McKinrow.
Alice Crash Angwa, Crix Kamrat, Fazong, Bainu Angwa, Zvi no Actopa. Fucking word salad! Rude. Oh, I know this character, this Crix character. I remember what voice I gave him. Well, if we'd gone with my original plan in the first place, we wouldn't be here.
No one thinks you're baiting Roe into a face-to-face meeting so you can kill him. Makes any sense, Crix.
I told you breaking him out of prison wasn't worth it, Crash.
Bro is a maniac, but he's not a fool.
Oh god, the artwork already took an immediate fucking note.
Look at this! Look at this!
Look at her eyes!
The eyes, the hair, the alien with the horns face.
Her face in the middle there looks like Joe Biden during the presidential debate.
Oh my God. Mackie and Rowan, I beat Medicare. Oh, okay. I just don't know what else we're gonna do.
See? Crash knows I'm right. Get with the program, you big lump. I need some fresh air. Control your beast, Crash. Why the fuck does his nose look like a toe?
Why? What? No, you mention it.
You see the fucking toenail!
Why? Like, also, this might just be my perspective because I've read a lot of DC comics, but does this not look like a no makeup Joker?
Yes.
Oh, and that hair. Oh god, that hair kind of reminds me of what was his name again? All Might. You know how the two hairs spreading out?
Yes.
God. All Might Joker.
All we need is for him to be lifting his face up or fist up with a slightly bloody ear, and we're good to go.
Yes. Ugh. Beast, why you? Fast knock. Hold on.
Cricks to Cricks to Bledlow 7. I'm out. Ready the ship.
What is that face?
Are you fucking kidding me? He's doing an escape attempt from them, and none of them considered saying, no, you can't fucking go anywhere?
Oh, is that a he? I thought that was a she.
That's a dude.
Oh, that's a dude. I legit thought that was a chick.
I mean, I get it. It's modern Disney.
Mm-hmm. Gotta have that effeminate male, but... At least the nose look normally here. But I want to see more nose... Anyway. Meanwhile...
So when I get sad, I remember what Master Glee taught me about death. I'm sure Master Pak felt the same.
He did. He talked about it a lot, even when I was a youngling. And though I never got confirmation of his death, I know he's one with the Force. Along with Master Glee, I feel at peace with it. Still miss him, though.
Every day.
Speaking of younglings, Zint said something about Severin Tarking earlier, but I was so busy worrying about you want to... Oh, it's the freaking pink bitch again!
You guys, you gotta talk me through this. I'm gonna explode.
Please do! I'm so sick of this character! God.
Can you do it a little over there? I just cleaned these robes. Unhand me, you unclean thought.
Oh. Jesus.
This is serious, Frazala.
Streammain said, I've become an expert at zine emergencies over the past year, and this is a genuine one, whatever it is.
I love how she is such a constant bitch that this character has now gotten used to it and can detect when she is about to enter her bitch mode. And to add, and holy shit, I take back what I said about artwork being half decent earlier. Look at his fucking eyes On the right.
Yeah. Again, everyone gets hit with the tipsy look.
Also, let's see. How many... Okay, so... Okay. His fingers, too, are a little bit... are pretty bad, too, now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to comment too much. But yeah, the eyes are... Holy fuck.
And just her angry in the middle. It's just... Is there a way to personify angry lesbian any harder?
Let me read some comments while I still have some sanity left, please. Alright. Rose says, Ninja Kamikaze Technique, Seth emulating Shuriken. Siege says, I'm a bit confused about building 7. Is laughing, amazing. World has been quietly spreading for a long time. Oh yeah, I should mention... the first 2 Strike games, I'm pretty sure, have actually gotten some occasional re-releases, like on the GBA and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But curiously, for no explicable reason, the last 3 Strike games don't seem to be getting the same attention. What a odd coincidence. It's also really fucking curious why the franchise is now so fucking obscure. So insanely obscure, despite the fact that it was actually one of the most popular franchises back in the 90s. And also, helped create the sandbox genre.
Yeah.
I find that to be a really curious oversight that such a popular and noteworthy franchise just has fallen off the face of the earth. Ursa, what's funny is even Future Cop LAPD is actually starting to get more love than the Strike games. Like there's been a couple of fan remakes of Future Cop as well as inspirations. Like I think there's a game called. There's been a couple of people trying to make games based around certain, even individual game modes centered around Future Cop LAPD. Yeah, if you try to find stuff for the old, inspired by the old Strike games, you might find a few things here and there, but you're not... Like, there was one recently released called Megacopter, which is a very, very weird game. But still fun and worth playing.
Pretty sure I have that wish listed.
Yeah, it's basically, imagine if Strike mixed with Aztec religious beliefs. As in, you upgrade your helicopter by ripping hearts out of people in a sacrificial manner. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other weird stuff and all that, but anyways. Ura says Nico is dying, Siege is dying. I've already watched the video Ace sent me, so I died on my own. Yeah, I showed him just the audio clips from Soviet Strike at the very beginning, and he was just going, holy shit. You could tell when he got to certain parts because of his reactions, is all I'm going to say. Siege says Black Zelensky strikes again. Yes, we are still evacuating. Siege, we have been evacuating since High Republic, evacuating our IQ points. Siege, Austin Powers, the Star Wars that loved me. Evacuation camp, evacuation complete. Spittle, okay. And Ura says, all eyes in High Republic are capable of looking at all participants in a conversation. If you know the eyes don't work that way, congratulations, you know more than the artists here. We have the weather, not the news. Oh my, the girl in the middle eyes, oh no. Ura says, Ace, do you think anyone here has 2 brain cells to rub together? Why would you put guards on a prisoner? Don't you think that is fascismus?
Well, certainly not.
Siege says that dude looks like a brown paper bag. Ura says, oh look, my favorite character in here. Everyone is hit with the Nurgle stick. Nico and even Nurgle would call these people horrible. Siege says, the eyes in this issue are god-awful. Mucho texto. Ura says, Text would be nice if we had something to read. This is all fluff and angry lesbian noises. I see what you did. I see what you did there. Pokemon's speech is more interesting than this comic's dialogue. So much text and nothing to say. Demon Chopper Airwolf. Says Siege. And, it could be worse.
Yeah?
It could be... I mean, at least these characters, none of them are inspiring... none of them are inspiring the kind of jokes people tend to associate with feminists. Quite. All I'm going to say is there's a reason why my video titled "How to Properly Communicate with a Feminist" is just footage of a whale hunting simulator.
Oh, so funny. Because I think my country and Japan are the only ones still whale hunting. So don't worry, I'll be doing a great service.
Thank you very much. Now, let's continue the nonsense.
Yes.
Thank you, Court. Now, I want to spend the rest of my life with Lula. Lula wants to spend the rest of her life with me. I'm sure of it. Mostly. So obviously I'm going to ask her to marry me.
No one cares! You fucking led people almost to their deaths. And
Oh my god!
didn't some of them actually die? Like,
Yes! They actually killed off... I'm pretty sure they killed off the members of an entire... basically, all the members of an entire species on that one moon that happened to have been pacifists.
you have the fucking goal to be like, oh my god, I want to get married. Oh my god.
We'll do it over the tombstones of all the people we killed. It'll be great!
Yeah, just hold the... Dude, the freaking honeymoon will just be seeing... I was like, oh look, here are the graves of all the people that we got killed. Oh. God, fuck this character.
This
Like,
character... Fucking hell!
The consequences are not a thing with these characters. Like,
This character probably thinks that Schindler's List is a legitimate feels-good movie.
oh, jeez. Fucking hell.
At
You know
least
what?
if
You know what?
her treatment towards the pacifists is anything to go by.
You know what? I genuinely do hope they actually get married or happy together because they fucking deserve each other. And I... and I hope I hope somehow the Nihil learn of their honeymoon trip and they get fucking blown to bits.
Please.
Do it. Do it. Okay.
I researched engagement rituals from Naboo because that's where she's from, but none of them really fit. So I figured we'd make our own ritual since we're both kind of daughters of no world in a way.
Uh-huh.
So I've asked Severon to craft her this bracelet like the ones they wear in their ceremonial family dances. Severon said you don't have to be a Tarkin to wear them, and they're strong enough to withstand a blaster shot.
Yes, that plot convenience. I'm sure that is nothing to do plot related.
Yeah. Nothing is gonna be revolved with this at all. I promise.
She's gonna be sitting there and saying, with the bracelet after taking a blaster hit, saying, "Your love spared my life." Blah, blah, blah.
No.
That's exactly what's going to fucking happen.
Oh, even worse, right? Imagine she puts it on and she uses it to block blasters and she's just like, Wonder Woman!
At least Wonder Woman was a decent film. The original one was.
I'd highly recommend a rewatch because I personally don't think so, but hey, whatever.
It's not as bad as stuff these days, anyways.
Yeah.
From a historical standpoint, though, I've trashed it for obvious reasons, but sorry.
Yeah, wasn't it in World War One?
Yes.
It's like, why not in World War Two? Because they make because all you have is like German conscript in there, and we're all supposed to be happy that they're just about to die. Like if it was World War Two, I can understand that, but World War One?
Well, part of the lore reason I think is part of the reason from a storytelling perspective is the whole point is that the whole point was the idea that both sides have gone completely mad from war and that Ares is responsible and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment Ares dies is the moment everyone realizes that peace was the better option. I don't think that Warner Brothers could get away with that shit in World War II.
No. They would have balls if they tried that, though. I'll give them that. If they were to do that.
I'm just saying, I don't think that would have really worked the way they would have wanted. And if they tried it, it would have been a really, really funny controversy. But I don't think it would have made Warner Brothers the money that they wanted.
Oh God. Oh, yeah. No. That's right. I'm just. That's gorgeous.
I still can't believe this is happening. But wait, what's the problem? When am I gonna give it to her? When you ask, you dumb bitch! That's how a fucking engagement works!
Oh my God! The art below it!
Why is she just cuddling up to Court?
But also his eyes!
A little bit, yes. But
oh my God! And the freaking werewolf guy on the side, he just looks like, I don't know why, but he reminds me of like Captain Boomerang, but if it was a fucking alien.
Yeah, that is some pretty fucking weird artwork.
Okay. Oh.
And what if she says no? That's why you fucking ask, you dumb bitch.
But also, hey, if it's a no, that would be a happy ending. Well, for us. We know Lula better than anyone in this galaxy, except maybe you and Master Sai, wink wink.
He says with the shit-eating grin as she's slowly cuddling towards him.
I imagine he's just looking the other way, because like, oh, please, bitch, get the fuck off me.
That's the face of a man going, maybe I'm not as gay as I thought I was. But I regret that if she's the one making him have those feelings. Because, oh boy, get out of there.
Jeez.
And we are 10,000% sure that's not going to happen. He says with a complete poker face.
It's like, well, mate, we're about 10,000%. It's not going to happen, right? Or that up. Well, I cannot imagine anything but the freaking Australian accent for this asshole. But yeah, that face.
Yes.
Odd-looking duck.
You're right. Thanks, guys. You really are the brothers I never had.
We're just so happy for you.
I need to get my temple robes pressed. Wait, they have clothing pressing in Star Wars now.
I guess.
They don't have some fancy technology that would make that obsolete.
I guess you need a chore or something to keep you busy. I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
I'll give it to her as soon as we're done with our mission. And look! We've almost reached the outpost at Malastair.
Also, that I was just gonna say, that hug is representative of everything that's wrong with Star Wars. Look at this shit.
Yes.
Ugh.
Holy shit, the artwork took a massive nosedive in the next page.
Yeah. Yes. It's an honor to do business with a great Krix comrade. I heard about your bravery during the attack on Starlight.
Yes, yes, quickly now.
That's you?
Right here. Sorry it's not fancier. Our presence on Corellia was basically wiped out in the massacre at the Greens. We've been dwindling ever since. These are the last 2 Nihil ships we have left.
It's got everything I asked for?
Oh, that's your... Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Path engine is active and updated with the latest codes. The comms have our contact programmed in already, so we can...
No we, just me. You wait a few hours, then bring Crash and her team to the other ship.
Crash Unkwa? She'll kill me! She hates Nihil!
Shink.
9/11? No.
Ah!
Oh,
That
sorry.
image.
God. Ah, jeez, what is that? Oh.
Her face, too. What is wrong with her nose? What's wrong with the character in the middle's eyes?
Note to self. Draw good eyes. Draw good noses. This is all things. This is all... I need to take notes on this.
You want to know what Lula's nose reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of Spaceballs. If you don't give us the combination, we'll restore her old nose. No!
I do kind of wish, though, let's never compare this to Spaceballs, because Spaceballs is sacred.
It is.
And
Imagine if they just... Oh god, I'm now imagining Spaceballs 2, and it's poking fun at High Republic.
That would be a gold mine.
Either that or terrible. I can't tell which.
Oh.
Or it says traitor is traitorous, like he gives a fuck.
Baseball has to swatch.
Siege says they're hugging her for what okay, so you know what? There's just so much about the wedding there. I don't want to go back to it, so please let me just continue.
Shall I take the?
Yeah.
Welcome, children. I know it's been a long while from Eratu and Sulust. Please make yourselves at home. Lula, dear, a word.
Why the fuck were they housing younglings at Solist? It's a prison planet! Wait, isn't it... Wait, I think it's a prison planet or something. Or was it a volcano planet? It might be both. I think it was a prison planet, though, in the original lore. I have to look this up now. I might have been mistaking it for Kessel, for Kessel there momentarily. I'll admit, but I think Sullust was supposed to be a prison planet.
Oh, but also the artwork on like the background of the kids. My God, this shit. Yeah. Oh, the one that looks like a Wookiee. What is this? It looks like someone transplanted the face of a fish on a Wookiee.
I'm not going... Oh, what? The Sullust?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you remember episode 6? The guy that was the co-pilot there on the Millennium Falcon? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I know you don't remember me, Lula.
Hold on,
But
I'm still trying to find the
Oh, sorry.
I'm still trying to find the old lore because I could have sworn.
Do you think they've updated it or some shit? Because I really hate the idea that they updated it just like they did with Chiari Mundi.
Oh god, don't even get me started on that. He's
And-
not even the only one though either that they've done that to.
No.
But anyways,
Yeah. Although, actually, speaking of all the changes, I've been getting an interest in getting into the Theron trilogy, the one that I was adapted into the comic book trilogy. Really good comics. Need to get, I need to get Legends in general.
okay, so it wasn't. It looks like it wasn't quite a prison planet at the time of the what would have been the equivalent to High Republic at the time of the old lore, but I can tell you for a fact it was a fucking toxic hellscape of a planet. So why the fuck they would send them there of all places?
I guess they had the best daycare.
To be fair, the actual cities themselves, once you actually reach them, which are underground and whatnot, are supposedly really nice and whatnot. But yeah, the actual planet itself seems like a weird place to send them.
Mm-hmm.
I could see Jedi temples being there, just not, places where you would be training younglings.
Yeah, that feels like the sort of thing that would be more advanced, trying to... where you would send in your Padawans, maybe?
Okay. Trio is laughing. Siege is laughing. Point still stands, though. Why the fuck would you send younglings there? And I'm going to defend that point to the fucking death. Because...
Okay.
Master Shko Imok, head of the Malaster Jedi Temple. Of course, Master Shko.
Shko.
Although you don't remember me, Lula, but I visited Andover often when you were a youngling. You used to show me all the secret hiding places you thought Cantam didn't know about.
Yes, Master Sai told me about that. And I know my choice to leave the Order must be an alarming one to you.
It's not that I don't trust you, Lula. It's just hard for me to fathom such a huge decision. Someone so young.
And what is that face?
Yes, the artwork is still terrible.
But that's not to say I didn't think you know what you're doing. It's just you're going off on an adventure even I haven't taken.
They're trying to depict her leaving the Order as stunning and brave. Fuck off, comic.
Fuck off. They already tried to make... Every edition is just trying to make the Jedi look even worse. Even unintentionally. Fuck this shit.
I know, Master, and I know how big of a decision it is, but... it doesn't feel like that at all. Yes, use your feelings. Let the hate flow through you.
Her eyes are even starting to turn slightly orange. Please, for the love of the Force, strike her down now.
And together we shall rule the rest of the High Republic.
Alright, I now need to do that voice.
It doesn't feel like that at all. It just feels like the truth. The real reason I know it's right is love. But not just love for Zine. I'm walking away because of love for me, for who I know myself to be.
Wouldn't this be the biggest red flags ever for someone who used to be a Jedi?
Yes, it would!
And
The attempt on my life has left me scarred and deformed.
Unlimited power. Okay.
Master Katam told me they'd felt it coming since before Starlight fell, that they'd been planning to talk to me about it when they got back from Corellia. Look at her eyes again! Fucking hell, they make her look fucking psychotic, which is just perfectly accurate. Also, I'm having to shit on the artwork a lot because holy shit, does it get worse. The person on the right looks fucking god-awful. What happened to her fucking fingers? Why is some of the fingernails not even given proper line work? You just see blue and then orange.
And again, they cannot stay consistent. Not even at a close-up.
Holy shit, this is terrible.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, this is why I have to voice this one as like a nasal, like a snob. It makes it better.
Well, Master Camtam is one of the wisest beings I've ever met. As are you, Lula Talisola. As are you. I'm so happy for you.
I'm now reminded of Helsing Abridged. Oh, you dirty bitch, work the shaft.
Well, you know what time it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just like to talk dirty when someone is sucking might.
Yeah. Oh, I need to watch through that again.
Thank you, Master Sko.
Go.
Although I'm pretty sure Darth Lula here is worried about the fact that her turning to the dark side has been detected by the Jedi long before Starlight fell.
Yeah, hopefully. But
that's why she's there crestfallen. She knows, oh no, they know my plans. I have not clouded the Force thoroughly enough.
Also, what is this background? And oh no, the fucking purple bitch is here.
Holy shit, this artwork is god-awful again. How the hell do you manage to screw up perspectives this badly? Look at this. It's a side-on perspective here, but from here, it's isometric on the right-hand side. Why is it isometric there, but side-on there? Why?
Oh, this is giving me an actual headache. Because I see the skeleton of a great artwork here, but it's just like someone said, nah, this'll do. Ow. Also, the blue one in the background, I'm guessing this is the secret agent, not being very stealthy. I like to think that.
Either that or
There's
buckets of blood. Holy shit, though. This is one of the worst pieces of art I have ever seen in this entire god-awful comic book series. And when I have to say that about High Republic Adventures, you know you fucked up.
Also, is it just me, or is that Link? No, sorry, is that, what's the name of the fairy? What's the name of that fairy in Legend of Zelda? That always accompanies Link?
Navi?
Navi, yeah, Navi. Is that Navi in the background? Look at where the purple bitch is at.
Maybe.
Oh,
That could also be Cham Cham or something like that in this comic.
yeah.
It's been so long. I don't want to continue on that.
Let's get this paid and done and over with, please.
Just one thing, because I asked you in the comments of the stream yesterday, and obviously I accidentally did it when you were about to end it.
Oh.
Twilight Princess. And bear in mind, I'm not a Zelda player. I have very limited experience of it. Isn't Twilight Princess considered the edgy one?
Yes, well, kind of. I'd argue that Majora's Mask is actually a lot edgier. Here's the thing about Twilight Princess. It's kind of in the territory of being... Twilight Princess is the only game rated T for teen. But I don't think there's any point in the game where you see a character get tortured by getting dipped into a vat of boiling water, which you actually do see in Majora's Mask. And the original version of Majora's Mask is rated E for everyone.
Wow. No way. Jeez.
No, really, that's actually a thing. You actually have to look... You basically have to do a couple of specific things to see it, but it is 100% in the game. I have seen it myself. So, I'll actually explain exactly how to do this. So, the first proper dungeon, right, is the Woodfall Temple in Majora's Mask. You have to go through the Southern Palace to get there, which is where the Deku are, and you talk to a monkey that's there that's been falsely accused of kidnapping the Deku princess. And you talk to him to get a song to actually open up the temple. Here's the thing. If you talk to him and leave and then go back to the king's courtroom where the monkey is being held, you'll actually see him dangling from a rope attached to his feet. And there you're slowly lowering him and raising him up from the steaming hot boiling water.
Oh, God.
You can even try talking to him, and you can actually see him be visibly or be very clearly left in sheer shock when they raise him back up. It's like his eyes are basically just a blank, non-focused stare when they raise him back up from the boiling water. But yeah, that's in an E for everyone game. And like I said, I don't think Majora's Mask is anything close to that. Then there's also the fact that Majora's Mask plot happens to revolve around the moon, world getting destroyed by the moon crashing into it. A lot of the characters understandably freaking out and just having massive breakdowns as they realize their existence and everything they knew is about to end right before their eyes. And they can fucking see it happening. The moon slowly getting closer to them in the process. So yeah, I would say that there's plenty of other stuff as well, like the Garu, which are undead ninjas, and the fact that they blow themselves up as part of their lore whenever they get caught. But all of that is to say that Twilight Princess is kind of in the territory of safe edgy, if I had to describe it, because it's the only one rated T for teen. Because you meet the undead version of the Link from Ocarina of Time, and he's a skeleton now, or a zombie-looking thing now. That's also helping you. Or there is also a spoiler. I'm not going to spoil for those who have not played the game and are watching me play the game. So I know there's that one spoiler as well, which also, if I remember correctly, kind of gets undone at the exact same time. But the point is, I would argue that of the two, Majora's Mask is the edgier game.
Okay.
Anyways. Right. And yes, I did go on a tangent just to avoid having to see more High Republic. I was looking away the whole time, so I didn't have to.
Yeah, I was just opening different tabs as well. All right.
Now tell me, friends, Does the Republic expect Iriatu and the nearby systems to fall into the Nihil hands? We don't know. Hopefully not.
But with the storm wall so close, a nasty general called the Warden has massed his small fleet at our doorstep. Our spies say he told his own version of how we destroyed his prison ship to make himself look good and somehow got himself a promotion. Who's going to contradict him?
But he still calls himself the Warden?
Holy shit, this artwork is terrible. What's wrong? Look at the top of his head. It's pretty much his whole personality. Probably got his name officially changed to that.
First name, the. Last name, the Warden.
That is some fucking cringe writing.
Next thing they'll do is put a freaking hashtag or something on a social media site in Star Wars.
And holy fuck, they managed to fuck up the joke even more. Middle name, War. Last name, Din.
Digging yourself in the grave.
They're even shitting on their own jokes at this point. Holy shit.
Jeez.
The Republic are keeping the Nihil busy on Naboo, and while we don't think the storm wall will move anytime soon, since it's only moved in response to an assault of some kind from our side, but the Warden's been launching more and more raids across Saswina. Just small-scale ones, with a fighter or two, but Stormwall or not, it's only a matter of time before he sends his whole fleet to attack us directly. A fleet that you've described as small. Ah, there you are, Crash. I was wondering when you'd reach out.
What the Kark Tower are you doing?
Exactly what we agreed on at the mission. Getting Ro's attention. Did you get my present?
What are those faces?
Okay.
We did not agree. And what am I supposed to do with a junked up piece of trash Nihil ship?
That's pretty obvious, isn't it? Come get me out of the Oz. Let Low 7 will tell you where I'm heading. Gotta run. The comms will drop out soon because I'm about to cross the storm wall. Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. So, about to cross the storm wall. Yeah, right.
Why is Master Sko the greatest ever?
I secretly wanted them to be my master when I first became a Padawan, even though I'd never met them.
Why? Just why? You've never heard of the character, but you secretly wanted this character to be your master. Why?
Wasn't this also the first? No, this surely it couldn't be the first time they met, was it? Because if it was, well, it's like wish to be.
Let's continue.
This thing is scrabbling up my brain. I can't even finish my sentences.
And the artwork is still looking awful, even when they add detail to it. Just happy the younglings are in good hands. Speaking of which...
Ah, right. Sint was worried about Lady Krevlin being left alone. Something about Severin hiding something, but then I cut her off. I know, I should have...
Why did you bring her with you, you dumb fuck? Are we just assuming that there was 0 spaces on the ship?
Couldn't fit one extra.
Fellas, I need a consult.
Oh, they're doing this again. Of course, it was a pink one. Now it's this bitch.
So look, surprising no one, I'm sure I'm gonna ask Zine to marry me, but like... Oh,
What?
here we go.
What do you get a...
Exactly. What do you get a beautiful Makian who was part of a creepy wandering anti-Jedi sect and has no real home planet?
Why are we talking... this is... Would you describe this as a high school drama thing? 'Cause I just don't care.
This is not what George Lucas meant when he said, they're like poetry. They rhyme.
It's just like, again, like the two worst characters to have this kind of dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
If only you had some experience.
And that's the thing. We totally have that in common, you know? Daughters of no world, if you will. Right, that's lovely. And one thing I learned in the past year is, if you're at home in yourself, then wherever you are is where home is.
I swear, the people who are dead by these people are just like, who the fuck are you? You don't deserve happiness. Oh, so true.
So I commissioned one of those ceremonial bracelets from the Tarkins wear from Severon. They're made from underground lava deposits. That's literally the perfect gift. Eradu is where we built this life together, where we finally admitted our love for each other. It makes sense, but... what if she doesn't say yes? Exactly! I don't know what I'd do.
Can we just... God, I just kind of wish this comic would go to Makian Ro. At least, as bad of an ANCAP as he was at least interesting. More interesting than this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
We can absolutely promise you that's not going to happen. Really? What makes you so sure?
I know Scene better than anyone else in this galaxy, Lula. No offense. And she is absolutely head over heels out of her mind in love with you. Trust me.
Okay, good. Because I'm going to ask her as soon as we land on Eriadu. Perfect. We're coming up on it. Chum! Nihil fighters just showed up, and they're right on top of us.
Oh my God, what is that face?
Yeah, that face in the middle there. What the fuck?
Why does this face look like the Punisher about to shoot someone?
This is the face of Max Payne from the original Max Payne game trying to take a shit.
Yeah. Oh. Way more than usual.
These shields won't hold long. Court, cannons, and let the Eriadu know we're coming in hot and bringing unfriendlies. Farzala, get us home fast.
On it. What is this artwork?
Holy shit, this face is god awful! The eyes again, and in the background! Why did you give her freckles, but didn't actually draw her eyes in? Why?
Did you put, like, it's like you put an emoji face on the bitch?
That's
like, yeah, that's good enough.
It's the surprised Pikachu face.
Oh.
But what the worst one is easily fucking Farzala. Look at his face! Holy shit!
What is this? It's like it was meant to be like, it looks like he couldn't decide which face to do, so they just meshed them together. What is this? What is this? Oh, okay.
Thin your paints, ladies and gentlemen. And now I'm looking at it, there's more stuff for me to get pissed off about. Because we're coming up on it now. Farzala's face, again, looks a little off. Not as bad as the other ones below, but holy shit.
Fuck. Oh my god, dude. Do you think you're gonna have to make another compilation of bad art in the High Republic?
Oh, you know I'm going to have to make another compilation.
On it.
What do you need? Rear cannons, go.
Come in, Ariadu. Central control, Ariadu. Come in.
Should have brought an escort. There were no fighters available. We're stretched thin. Why? Are you... because the evacuation? If this is one of the planets where shit is getting real and you're having to evacuate it, and it's one of the key planets out there, why are there no fighters to help cover your evacuations? As much as people like to shit on the RAF over Dunkirk, they were actually providing fighter cover. Not enough, but they were doing it.
Yeah? This is wonderful.
And at least with Dunkirk, right? At least at least with Dunkirk, the evacuations were of course taking also place in one location. You know, Dunkirk and its surrounding area.
Mm-hmm.
But my brain is getting fried. I can feel my IQ slowly draining. Let's please end this before I run out of brain.
Yeah.
I'm glad this happened after we dropped off the kids. Shame you didn't also pick up the old lady that you were coming there to do, or anyone else.
Mm-hmm. But who cares? As long as it's just the people she cares about.
Zint!
Boom. She was worried about Lady Krevlin getting hurt in the Nahil attack.
What's all the... Zint! Also, look at Zint's face! Zint here...
What trucks are you on?
Zint here looks like one of Immortan Joe's characters, or one of his gang from Mad Max Fury Road.
Also, if you look at the panel where he's introduced, and the panel later, it's like the eyes is just flat out. It looks like one looks relatively normal, the other one looks like fish eyes.
Uh-huh. Farzala! Going as fast as we can, but these shields aren't doing it. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Also, the artwork of the city and whatnot underneath. More trash artwork. Holy shit! Look at some of the buildings in that middle panel there. Just how awful some of them look. They're not. Some of them are just flat out bent.
Yeah, and also just all just squares, all just rectangulars. Oh, this is so bad. And even the lower panel doesn't help that much.
Yeah, the lower panel's god awful too.
It's like circles and squares and rectangles everywhere.
This is... where are the fucking roads? This is a city!
I I don't know.
Does Daniel Jose Older not know what a city looks like? He fucking lives in one. Has he
like-
never taken a step out of his house before in his life? Does he just get nothing but DoorDash for the entirety of his existence, and before that have his mom get all of it? What the fuck?
Well, okay, I can see one bit of road on the left side on the lower panel.
One road. One road for all of that city. Oh no.
Okay, we're almost done.
Yes, the occlusion zone. Once again, this is Commander Camerat. Come in, crank flat. Repeat, come in, crank flat. For the last time, this is Commander
Yeah. Auto port side entry.
Hello, come in, crank flat. Not, cleared.
Proceed to dock. Let me try again. Commander Camerat, you may proceed to the port entry side section 7 to dock. And may I be the first to say, welcome back to the Gaze Electric Commander, Camerat.
I like how they try to make this thing look impressive and epic, and yet the artwork is so shitty that it just falls flat completely.
I don't know why, but looking at this, the only thing I can think of this is Unicron's Willy.
What I'm reminded of is that mothership from STG Strike Gunner at the very, very beginning, the enemy mothership that you can tell is fucking massive. And keep in mind, the SNES, the game on the SNES still looks way better than this.
Yeah, I think it's just, it might be, see, it doesn't look that massive. It could a little be because of the ship in the front, right? Of the quote-unquote Camerat. It's a bit too close, so it just sort of, I don't know what it is. It's just the shit artwork as well as the lack of detail. It's just, it does not look as big as it should at all.
It looks like they're trying and failing to make fun of Spaceball 1. Next issue, The High Republic Adventures.
Rock your brain.
Coming in July 2024. No! Oh, this is going to be next week, isn't it? I'm going to have to read this next week. Why?
Oh, that's going to be fun.
And that's the end of the comic. Let's see what comments we got.
Oh, please.
Just a single comment, Joey Jeffrey. Good Lord, so much talking. Yes.
Yeah, nothing. Oh, hang on, let me see.
Oh, that was an awful issue.
This was terrible. I hate every second of it.
How the hell do they manage to make the worst artwork in all of High Republic Adventures in this one single issue? And then the plot about the wedding, oh, that was such a fucking holding pattern. That was filler in the worst way possible.
Oh, man. But also, I'm looking at, like, the High Republic Adventures, like, the homepage for all the issues, trying to find some comments from that, and barely any. I mean, to be fair, like, who would want to read this in general?
Diego Hernandez says, will you play Nier? Maybe at some point. I'd have to have a shot at it before I do that. Seed says, thank God you made it. Thank you very much. Also, good God, the art is terrible, says Diego. Yes, it is. Okay. Now that we've gotten through High Republic Adventures, issue number 7, what are your thoughts, Nico?
This was just incredibly boring. it felt like nothing was happening. Honestly, most of this was just the only. This was only talking about, I'm gonna propose to my significant other of two characters that no one cares about. The art is terrible and inconsistent, and I can see why nobody talks about this. To be fair, nobody talks about the High Republic in general, but I see no reason why anyone should read this.
Agreed. I honestly do not know. I feel
go ahead.
Sorry. I'm still at a loss for words because my brain is just not recovered yet.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is why I'm reading like good comics. Because I need something good to remind myself that this medium has a shot. Like, there's so much potential in it before I have to dig deep into the shitter. Mm-hmm. I will say the only good thing in general for the High Republic is that this is a fantastic way to know what not to do in terms of art. And since I'm going to art school very soon, this is going to be very handy. I'm just writing down my notes here.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. So, a little bit of history for you guys. During World War II, the British designed a tank called the Valiant.
Mm-hmm.
This was a tank that was so notoriously awful that after driving the prototype for 13 miles on the road, they decided to call the testing quits right then and there. And that tank has ever since been preserved as a lesson in how not to design a tank. Now, you might be wondering, how the hell do you manage to make a tank that awful? Things like the gun, the turret, and being a massive shot trap, meaning that it will actively deflect shots into the hull.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they actively created weak points in the design. At the very fucking front of the hull as well.
Mm-hmm.
Where shots are probably going to come. The fact that the driver... Here's where it really made the tank notorious was the shit that the driver had to do. Driving the tank was such a pain in the ass that the driver that drove those 13 miles on a road was absolutely exhausted from driving the 13 miles. Because he had to use his full body weight to even try maneuvering the tank whenever he tried to do anything at all with it. It was even dangerous for the driver. As in... it was possible that if, because the foot brakes and whatnot, they were so close to the bottom floor of the tank, and because he had to use the heel, there was a chance that it could fucking break his feet. If he used it.
Uh-huh.
There was a chance that his wrist could break with some of the controls. There's the fact that he had, the seating was in such a way that he had to basically crouch down whenever he lowered the hatch for the driver hatch. Meaning that even the seating arrangement was fucking dangerous on this tank. Otherwise, if he didn't crouch down, he would have hit it, the driver's hatch would have smacked him on the dome. A heavy metal plate smacking him on the dome.
Mm-hmm.
All of this for a tank that was outright inferior to other models that the British already had at the time. So when I say it is one of the most notoriously awful tanks of all time, that's the kind of level we're working with. This comic is the fucking Valiant of comic books.
This is, yeah.
It's going to be preserved in the comic book equivalent of the Bovington Tank Museum as a lesson of how not to make a comic book.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, we could just put this entire decade into it.
The only thing I would say that this is not quite the equivalent of is the Christmas Bullet, which was an aircraft. known as the worst aircraft in human history.
Okay, I've never heard of that one.
The Christmas bullet was designed by a, quote, Dr., unquote, Christmas, who was a charlatan, who decided to get the U.S. Army to make this plane and test it. He decided, this was in 1919, and it was a part of a brilliant plan to make the fastest plane he could, as part of a brilliant plot to kidnap Kaiser Wilhelm and bring him to the U.S. to make him stand trial for all the war crimes and stuff he did. But holy shit, some of the design flaws.
Oh, what? This looks like a toy!
This thing got people killed. It never successfully flew. And by successfully flew, I mean it crashed every single time and killed the pilot every single time they tried to fly it. Because they decided to use wing warping technology, which was outdated even in 1919. Hell, it was fucking outdated in 1916. They'd used the wing warping technology because the idea was it would flap its wings like a bird, which it did, until the wings snapped. Because the wings were too fragile for the overweight aircraft. And they weren't even properly supported with struts because, again, this was wing warping as far as the idea was concerned. Like I said, the Christmas bullet is one of the most notorious aircraft. It's actually gone down in history as the worst aircraft ever designed. And technically that's debatable, if only because an aircraft would imply that it's capable of successfully landing. Which it never did.
I mean, fortunately, no one has really heard of this one, so luckily,
it's starting to become more of a meme now because people are starting to find out about it. But yeah, it is notorious. But anyways, I'm not going to quite say that this comic is quite the level of the Christmas bullet, only because it hasn't quite produced a death toll yet. But it is the Valiant of comic books.
Yep.
And I think...
go ahead.
And is there anything else you'd like to add with regards to this story?
Only that... Don't let such a bad... What I was going to say is that just because the High Republic and these kinds of comics are shit... I would highly recommend people just read the older stuff. You know, if you want something good from Star Wars, read the older stuff. Some of it is getting reprints. So, yeah, it's a great palate cleanser, and it's just I guarantee you, it is like night and day in levels of quality.
Yeah. Like, read Star Wars Empire, or X-Wing Rogue Squadron, or just Knights of the Old Republic. Or hell, there's a lot of good old Star Wars comics out there.
Yes.
There's so many things that you can be reading other than High Republic.
Hell, just recently, the comic book store that I usually go to just got a legacy reprint of the Thrawn trilogy. It is amazing. Just reading through this, it is amazing. So yeah, definitely, like, to hell with the High Republic comics. Just read the older stuff.
Yep. Yes. And I think that's everything I needed to say. Is there anything you'd like to add as well?
I think I've gotten my point across.
All right, so yeah, I think we're at a good point to go ahead and call it. So yeah, this has been Ace.
This has been Nico 40K.
Thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me.
And we both hope to see you all again soon. Until then, take care. Ace out.